Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. You've heard me talk about Reiki and how energy healing is so beneficial for people. Get you through challenges, pain, addiction, a lot of things. What about your pet? I have yet to try that. That's why I'm going to go to her. Tatiana Maldonado is with us, and she is the owner of Howling, which is a great place that does energy healing for pets. Welcome back, Tatiana. How you doing?
Good. Thank you, Steve.
Good to have you here. We dug kind of deep into it last time, the benefits of Reiki for pets, dogs, cats, horses, on, and how it really does make a difference, especially things like separation anxiety, stress that your pet is going through. Let's say you're going through a move or a divorce or something major going on, and your animals are just not acting right. Reiki can set that right. But I love something that you offer, and it's called a bonding session. Can we talk about that?
Yes. So I offer different sessions. So one of the ones that I do offer is bonding with your pet. And it's a really cool session because it's Reiki for both your pet or your animal. It doesn't have to be a dog. It can be a cat, a bird, your horse, and you at the same time. So the energy is flowing between you and your pet, and it really does create a synergy of energies, a calming effect. It really does bond on a spiritual level, cellular level, physical level. And I've just seen the bonds between owner and pet really magnify and just become stronger through the Reiki. It's kind of like the energies understand each other.
That really is cool. Who doesn't want to bond better with their pet? I mean, I took mine. He doesn't get out a lot, but a couple of weeks ago, I took him to a dog park, and he's there barking at the other dogs, and it's just a fun experience doing it with your pet. But when you're really exchanging that energy, that's got to be any success stories, like things you've heard from clients when they
Absolutely. I've had clients that have adopted rescue dogs. Dogs have had really traumatic past. Pit bulls that have been used for bait dogs or fighting dogs, and they really wanted to adopt these dogs and give them a better life. Dogs who have been burned, all kinds of tragic stories. And so some dogs will hesitate, obviously, in a new environment, a new owner. They're not trusting, they're not sure what is going to transpire in their life, considering their past. And when you do the bonding Reiki sessions, it really does align that energy between the new owner and the pet, letting them know it's okay, the energy is calm, because animals in general, really what their language is all energy. It's all body language because we can't speak in the same language. And so reading body language and understanding body language is so important. And Reiki really does do that for any animals that are rescued. It could be animals in a zoo, it could be a horse, it could be livestock, people who rescue pigs from farms, slaughterhouses, stuff like that. And it really does help them understand to bring that energy in alignment where they understand it's going to be okay. This is a safe place. You're going to be loved. And when they feel that stability, they feel that love, they feel that safeness, then it changes their whole demeanor and they're a lot more trusting. They build that bond. And so it allows them to move forward in a very positive way.
I gotta believe that Reiki even works better for animals because they're not thinking about all the other stuff that humans are thinking about. So,
correct.
Right?
Yes.
It's got to jump. It's
yes.
Good. There we go. Where if you're, my first Reiki session was virtual and I was in a good space. I was, on the couch, just chilling out. But I can imagine some people you've got a lot going on in your head where animals don't, it's the energy is instinctual.
Absolutely. In a Reiki session for humans, it usually takes us about 10 to 20 minutes to actually get into that rest space mentally, because you're right. We have thoughts coming in and out. What are we eating for lunch? What am I doing for dinner? Do I have laundry? Tomorrow I gotta wake up early. And so it takes a while for our brain to really calm down and then bring it down to the physical level, when animals can naturally do that in seconds, in minutes. They can bring themselves to a very calm state because they don't have that day-to-day thoughts of our routine.
Do you think that animals carry with them, like adults do from their childhood, things that have happened that, it's in our subconscious? Let's say it was a, rescue situation and you adopted a dog or cat when they were a little bit older. Do you think they're carrying things with them like trauma?
I'm gonna say it varies by species. I know for horses, definitely they can recall from the time that they were 3 months old, 2 months old, if they were in a slaughterhouse to be killed and they were rescued. They can definitely remember that far back. Elephants are the same way. As we know, elephants have a memory beyond, they remember everything. And so they can from birth remember anything that has happened to them and a family member or somebody in their pod, as well as dolphins. So it really depends on the species, but dogs and cats, I definitely say they do remember their trauma. It's not something they forget. What's really important is whether they're able to let go of it and release it, or if they hold on to it. So Reiki is amazing for that because it allows the animal to release that energy, to release that fear, that stagnant energy that stays stuck in the body and consequently causes illnesses, like let's say cancer or shoulder injury, or stomach issues. Digestion issues is a huge medical condition that's caused a lot by stress, anxiety, trauma. So if they're able to release it through Reiki, if they're able to let go, they can still remember it definitely, but they don't hold on to it, which is the biggest factor. We can always remember what happened to us, but if we hold on to the trauma, that's where we start creating diseases in our bodies.
I'm hearing and learning more and more about that stuff that you deal with, stress, everything doesn't just fester, in your stomach and in your head. It gets like down to the cell level.
Yes.
And that's
Absolutely.
where things happen, where
Correct.
cancer can grow or spread,
Yes.
where maybe in a situation where you weren't dealing with stress and things like that, maybe that wouldn't have happened.
Correct.
I gotta wonder, Tatiana, is there a different certification for pet Reiki versus human Reiki?
No, there is not. You can be a Reiki master, or you can just learn to do Reiki in general, and you can apply it to anything. I mean, Reiki can be used on humans, it can be used on animals, it could be even used on a purpose. So let's say you're trying to manifest a dog or an animal you want to adopt or you want to bring into the family. You can write it on a piece of paper and do Reiki on that paper to manifest and bring in that energy of, let's say I want to adopt a Great Dane that's gray or is a female. Anything that you really want to do, as long as you apply the energy to it, the Reiki will open that up for you. It'll open that channel for you.
So I'm going to share with you, and I get totally what you're talking about. I'm a big animal lover. I adopted a kitten back in July, and I was like, and he needs a brother. I'm going to get another one. And I think I'm lucky. Maybe it's my energy. When I get pets, they're cool. Like I like they're sweet, they're loving. Like this kitten, I walk in my house, I call his name, he comes running. I'm like, give me a kiss. He comes up, gives me a kiss every single time. And I put it out into the universe. I'm like, I'm going to get you a brother. And I used the same rescue, and I went to a house a few weeks ago and saw a kitten. And right away, I'm like, that's the one. And I just I volunteered to help out with a fundraiser over the weekend, and I saw his new foster. He's not ready yet. He's being actually neutered tomorrow.
Yeah, fostering, not ready to be adopted fully, but
yeah. But I just, like to your point, like the energy is there. When you put that positive energy out there, you can feel it back. I assume he's going to be like my other kitten, but I'm feeling that. Like I got that vibe. I mean, he was in a litter of 5 cats. I'm like, ooh, there's no doubt it's him. And I looked at the other ones and was kind of, thinking that out. I want to know from you, and not just animal based, but I hear you can Reiki anything. What's your daily routine connected to Reiki include?
So daily routine for Reiki, I would say, is in the morning, I do a meditation. And before I meditate, I run Reiki through the room. So you can activate Reiki and have it running in the room, have it running during your meditation. If you're meditating with your dog, or if you're doing yoga with your dog, you can run Reiki at the same time. And so that combining the yoga or the meditation with the Reiki, it magnifies whatever you're really trying to accomplish, whether it's bringing in peace, whether you're trying to stay calm today, where you're trying to bring in certain things you want to accomplish during the day, or week goals, or anything for your pet. If you're doing Reiki and yoga or meditation with your pet, anything you want for them this week, balancing their energy, staying calm when visitors come over. If you're going to have a stressful week, or it's going to be a lot of movement, letting them know it's okay. They don't need to have anxiety, that everything is going to be fine. So I usually start my morning with Reiki, and then in the evenings, if I have any clients or if I have any requests, sometimes I get requests from clients or from friends saying, hey, I have a friend whose dog is in the hospital, or a dog got hit by a car, or a horse is being rescued, or even the pets and animals that are suffering in Ukraine. You can do Reiki and send that healing energy, that loving energy through Reiki, so that things are not like in Ukraine, the turmoil that's going on. It kind of might help some of the animals, and you can do that for anything, really, for anything.
As I'm learning it, even when you have a friend going through surgery or whatever, it could be in 5 states away, and
Yes.
even on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and you say, hey, I'm sending positive vibes. Essentially, you're sending
Correct.
positive energy.
Exactly. You're sending positive energy. Yeah. And even like with horses who are traveling cross country, if they're putting them in a trailer, if they're traveling, through many states, and you can send Reiki to them. I get requests of those as well. We're loading a horse today. We're going to be traveling. It's going to be overnight. The weathers that are changing, tornadoes, the snow, hurricanes, all of those things. And you can just do Reiki and focus on them having safe travels, being protected with good energy, with safe energy, so that everything runs smoothly. So I always suggest you can start in the morning with Reiki, you can end the day with Reiki, you can do both morning and evening. Really, you can do it anytime. You can fit it into your schedule any day of the week or every day of the week.
So we're not trained and never went through, the certification and all of that. So we're not even close to Tatiana level Reiki. But can you just send the intent there, and will it work?
Absolutely. Being Reiki certified is basically being what separates what you just said to a Reiki master is the attunements, right? So we have certain symbols that we work with that magnify and focus on certain energies when we're doing the Reiki. But if you're not a Reiki master, if you've never done Reiki before, and you just want to send good vibes and good energy, absolutely you can. Exactly what you said. If you set an intention, if you drop into the heart, and if you really focus on what it is that you want, if you're saying, I'm sending healing vibes, I'm really hoping the surgery goes well. If you have a family member in the hospital, if your pet is sick, if God forbid they got into some type of poison and now you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know if they're going to make it. You can do exactly that. Everything is based on intention and energy. And as we know, everything around us is energy, including our iPhones, the car, even things that you feel don't move. All of that is made out of energy. They're all particles that form in order to make whatever we're holding, eating, putting on. So as long as the intent is there and the energy is transmitting through it, you can do anything, honestly.
My view of it is, let's look at it in terms of football, whatever. You're a quarterback. I can throw the football. It should go in the direction I want it to go. But somebody like you is like the superstar quarterback, where you're going to fire that ball and it's going to go exactly where you want at the desired level of Reiki energy. Doesn't mean that we can't throw a football, but it's not going to be to your level. We do have instant feedback. Gina checks in from Brooklyn, New York at instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com and says, how do I know that Reiki is actually working on my dog?
So you would see improvements. Some people expect improvements right off the bat in one session. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't always happen. I get some dogs or animals that you can see the improvement right away, or you can see signs that it's working. Like with horses, it's, licking and chewing. It's the closing of the eyes. It's the way their head is held low. Same with dogs. If you're doing a session, that I've seen the dogs actually release energy, and they'll yawn, they'll shake, the leg will move, they'll salivate. Certain signs that I can see, okay, at the moment they're releasing what's blocking them. But if you're looking for something improvement, like let's say they're digestive, if you're looking for, I had a case with a Frenchie that had to have surgery on his palate. He couldn't breathe. And so they came to me on their last leg, and they said, if this doesn't work, we don't want our baby to suffer. We'll have to put him down because we don't want him living a life where he cannot breathe. And so we did Reiki 4 times a week. And every week we saw a different improvement. So in a severe case like that, every day I would check in with my client. How is he doing? Have you seen any improvements? And they would tell me, yes, today he was able to go up half the stairs, and he wasn't breathing hard. He wasn't gasping for air. He wasn't tired. Then it was, he was able to eat his full meal without throwing up his food through his nose. Then it was, oh my God, today he ran and he was actually playing like a regular dog. And today we came home and he was excited and he didn't hyperventilate. And so those are the improvements that you will see. So it really depends case by case. It could be something as small as the releasing right in the session. And it could be something as big as, yes, today he was able to play. Today he was able to walk 2 steps or get up instead of not being able to get up. Today he was able to retain urine for 2 hours when he didn't have any control of the bladder. So it really depends on case by case, but if you know your dog, you will definitely see the improvement.
We can't guarantee anything here, but what I think of is I had a cat years ago. His name was Schmoogie, and he was 10 and developed a tumor, cancerous tumor in his jaw. And just what you're saying, he would start throwing up, and then his quality of life started going down to the point where you have to make that decision. But I think back that if I knew Reiki could work on animals, maybe that would have maybe prolonged his life or improved the quality of his life.
Correct.
And no guarantees, because every animal is different. Every situation is different, but you wonder and you love them. So if they're going through a tough time, maybe it's close to end of life, why wouldn't you want to make them feel better?
Absolutely. And it's exactly what you said. A lot of people think, oh, is this Reiki? Is it going to cure the cancer? Is it going to take the tumor out? Is it going to reduce the tumor? There have been cases where it does do that, but it's not a guarantee. It's not 100%. And it's why we always say Reiki is a supplement to whatever treatment they're on. If they're on dialysis, if they're on chemo, if they're on harsh medications, if they're going through heartworm treatment. But if it's at that point where obviously, we all have a lifespan, if your pet is 15 years old, or at that time where, for horses, let's say 30 to 35 years or whatever the lifespan is. And we know, okay, the time is here, they're going to cross over. Even then, Reiki is good because it's like you said, you can give them Reiki daily, once a week, and it'll improve their quality of life. It'll relieve the pain. It'll relieve and minimize any discomfort that they might have. And even when they're passing, I've had clients who I've been there for when they're literally crossing over that bridge. And it just kind of helps them transition over in a very peaceful manner where they know they're loved, where they know it's okay, where they're not suffering, where they're not on a cold steel bed at the vet. So it can work in so many different ways, honestly, but the end goal is always to, yes, minimize and improve the life of any species, including us. You know, it's improving that quality of life.
Well, certainly if your pet's living better, you're going to be better.
Yeah.
You'll have that, better relationship. Do you think, or do you feel that you're intuitive?
I do. I do. When it comes to animals, definitely intuitive.
Hmm. Which is so helpful. It's almost like you're halfway there in terms of kind of reading them and tuning into them. Have you always, even when you were younger, always loved animals?
Yes, since I was little, I was that one that would bring all animals home, and my mom would say, no, that duck cannot come in here. No, you cannot bring lizards. No, you cannot bring chickens. No, you cannot bring the cat and the dog and every other animal. So I've always loved animals since I can remember being 5 years old, just always rescuing, helping, wanting to just love them and give them a better life. And so I just continued that all the way through. And I've always had that passion for them. So
Yeah, it shows. It totally shows. Um, let's talk about the sessions. I know you do a one-on-one.
yes.
You got virtual things going on. Let's go through that.
Yeah, so I offer the one-on-one private session. So that would include me and the pet in a private room where they're calm, where they're comfortable. It can be their favorite room. And then in that session, I will offer, if you want essential oils and crystals, I always offer it to the pet and see which one they choose, because their body will naturally be attracted to the one that the body needs the most. And that can vary from session to session. And so then I start the Reiki sessions. I always have meditation music going on, and it's very intimate. And usually, since it's a one-on-one, they're very, very calm, and might take them about 5 minutes, and some are just ready and willing, and they jump right in. They're like, yes, I love these sessions. I feel so good in these sessions. And I come in and they just lay down and they're like, let's go. So I provide those. Then I do the long distance Reikis for clients who are, not local. And you can do those virtual through Zoom, like we're doing now, or you can send a picture and I can work on whatever the client is requesting. And then I do monthly Reiki circles for your dogs, usually around the full moon. So 3 days prior, 3 days after, or on the full moon. And it's beautiful because it's a gathering of people with their pets, and they come, and then we do about 2 to 3 minutes per dog for the Reiki. And if you can't join them physically, you can also join through Zoom and get the same experience. And that we do it at a little Zen garden that I have at my pet sitting service in Miami. And then I offer the bonding pet with your pet that we discussed earlier. So there's a variety of options.
I love it. And I just got a quick thought that I have friends. Sometimes I wear them too, bracelets that somebody I know confuses with Reiki. I forgot to put my on. It's in the other room right over there. And then I just thought about this. Dog collars, if they were infused with Reiki, how cool would that be?
Well, funny you mentioned that, because I'm actually working on that now. What I'm trying to work on is doga mats. So basically, they're yoga mats for dogs that are infused with Reiki. And it could be for grounding, it could be for the heart chakra, it could be for the throat chakra. And then I have dog collars that I'm also working on with crystals on the collars infused with Reiki as well. So if your dog, has anxiety or is stressed, they can wear the collar with the crystal, and it's infused with Reiki so that it can just help them get to that calm state and kind of just bring down that energy and make them feel safe. So yeah.
Wow. It just popped in my head. Even my daughter, she went through a little bit of a challenge, and she wears a bracelet, actually two. And she likes the colors of the stones. And my friend infused them with Reiki. And I don't say anything. I just lean back, because teenage girls very particular about what they wear, jewelry and everything else.
Yeah.
And she's still wearing them. So there's got to be good energy coming out of them. They would be there for a reason. And then
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Your website, I'm not going to say it, you say it.
It's www.howlingom. So it's howling, HOWLINGOM like the mantra Om, which is right here on the shirt, .com. So www.howlingohm.com.
And just finally here, the Om. Heard it, a million times. Or Om.
Yes.
Is that done in yoga and different modalities as a grounding, as a centering? Is that sound?
Yes.
For that?
Om is a mantra that has a certain vibration, a certain frequency vibration. And so it's usually used for opening and ending any type of sessions, whether it's meditation sessions, yoga sessions, Reiki sessions. It's a very good grounding sound vibration.
Fantastic. Wow. Always great talking with you, Tatiana. And I don't know anybody else, and I've been dealing with the metaphysical thing for quite some time, that just does Reiki on all types of animals. Some people just do dogs. Why wouldn't you do all of them? I don't know. Reiki. Go to the website and make some changes, positive changes in your pets. Howling Om, O-M, just howling and OM.com.
Yeah.
Great having you on, and I look forward to getting together sometime soon with you.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate it. And sending all energy healing to the animals.
Yep. Appreciate it. All right. We're coming right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.